Hey guys, Tyler2K here. This is like take 4 now, unfortunately, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about Heihachi Mishima. Heihachi Mishima is a returning DLC character who was added in patch V108. He, for the most part, is a Mishima character with electrics and Hellsweeps and whatnot, but there's enough little changes to him and spiced to make him into a proper DLC character. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and cover his move list, some changes, some pitfalls I've noticed a couple of people talking about online, and I am using effectively a cheat box just for consistency's sake. Otherwise, I'm typically like a 2P Mishima, which goes to my last thing. So I do know how to play Mishimas, but of the Mishima characters, Heihachi was definitely the one I have learned the most and played the most of over the years. So I do have some background slash pedigree and experience with them. And you can take a look at my T7 move list breakdown. We did the speculation top right corner for that. But yeah, I think I have enough grasp that we should be okay. But like I said, if I do make a mistake, please let me know. So without further ado, because once again, we're going to do the full move list breakdown, let's go ahead and start with the move list under main techniques. But we're not going to take a look at these directly. Feel free to go through all these and whatnot for examples of what to do. But the one we're looking for is a new mechanic in this game called Warrior Instinct. So Warrior Instinct, once you have 3 levels of heat mode activated, so notice this says level 3, so what happens is when we're playing, every time we do heat activator, so either a heat engager option, like Death Fist, we get 1 charge, kind of similar to Lydia, and then once our heat runs off, the next round we can get level 2, and then the next round we can get level 3, until finally we're up to 3 levels, and then we have access to Warrior Instinct. So people were calling Warrior Instinct a stance. It's not really a stance. It's probably even less of a stance than Omen back in the day. What it does is you just charges up his options. So if you notice the little get a stomp kind of thing going on here, the key charge pop up, he's basically doing kind of similar to a 2D burst, where it's just this big power crush option, but it's unlike a normal 2D. You can't use it mid-combo like a proper burst. It just is a big armored taunt, let's call it. And the taunt itself, once again, can only be accessed from level 3. And what that means is every round you basically get access to 1 heat, and then by round 3, assuming you've activated heat 3 times throughout your match, you can then perform 1+4 to access Warrior Instinct. So the kind of interesting thing, and you won't really see a combo like this, but technically you can use it mid-combo. If you notice the green icon meaning wall splat will break the walls and whatnot, you can kind of use it similar to the devil entrances with Kazuya and Jin, where you can hit them on the ground or low-ish. But yeah, unlike other attacks, it's important to note, it states here, reversal cannot KO. So while it does break their armor, it can't actually knock out the opponent. So in a way, it's fairly similar to like a heat burst, where that's also can't deal lethal damage. But that's mostly just because the fact, like, this is so fast and so huge, and it breaks armor, it would be like almost like a checkmate scenario. But you can only gain this on basically round 3, round 4, or round 5, depending on when you have your 3rd charge. For the most part, it's probably better to pop your charge if you know your character's about to get knocked out or killed. It's probably better before the round ends just to mash out Heat Burst, just to gain 1 charge of meter to get you ready for the future. Also, furthermore, when you do pop this, regardless of what point of the round you pop this, it only lasts until the end of the round. So if by some chance you are doing a kill combo against opponent, like we'll say, like I don't know, into a burst. Oh, my buttons are messed up. My bad. Like, let me make sure. So let's say that's your final charge. Sorry, like I said, I'm on a different stick than I normally use. And then, like, okay, now we pop it. So even if he has 1 health left, such that our Hellsweep kills him, if we've already popped our Warrior Instinct, that's it. That's it for the rest of the game, right? Because by definition, you can't get 2 more or 3 more charges of heat when there's only at most 2 more rounds to go that you can get heat in. So there is some strategy with it. Also, even under the effects of heat mode here, let's say you activate your meter, you still don't have access to your Warrior Instinct until you pop it. So unlike a character like Reina, who only accesses Heaven and Earth while heat mode's activated, keep in mind, Heihachi is different. You're the one who controls when you pop it. so that you're fully under, in command of it. Okay, so some general information. Basically, under heat mode, electrics don't require you to be just frame. If you notice, look at the top of the screen. Oh, they're not showing it, but yeah, basically, if you do a dirty input electric, it costs you meter. But if you get a perfect electric, it doesn't cost you any meter generation at all. The same is true for Thunder Godfist or Omen Godfist. So if we don't get a perfect input, it does cost us meter. If we get a perfect Omen Godfist by itself, then again, there is no meter generation or meter cost for us to be able to do that. So yeah, if your execution's good, you get rewarded. If it's not good, well, you still get rewarded. It just costs you a little bit of your meter, your heat meter gauge there. Certain attacks get extensions under heat mode. For instance, up forward 4-2 and down 3-2. Down 3-2 is a little bit more practical mid-combo. Up forward 4-2 or up forward 4-1 is really good for applying pressure. We'll talk about it later, but notice how it's +2 on block. And then the ground pound is +0. So they kind of changed his old down 2 +3, and now they've moved it into heat mode instead. But yeah, we'll talk about it later. Otherwise, here's a change that's kind of similar to Reina in Tekken 8. Now, in his Heaven's Wrath, which is they called Wind God's Kamae, which is also known as Raijin stance. So this is old forward stance, forward 3+4. So he still has that input. Under the effects of heat mode, do you have that parry that Reina has? So notice Heihachi doesn't take any damage, and this is an auto reversal. It costs you meter, but you don't take any damage. You don't have to do anything special. Heihachi just grabs your limb, whether it's a punch or a kick, and then throws you to the floor. So that's a change in this game too. We talked about it. Warrior Instinct can only be performed when you have 3 charges, and then you're the one who activates it. From Warrior Instinct, there are supercharged versions of attacks. The big one, it really is just that one, down 4-2-1. Again, we'll talk about this later. And then his 1 back 2-2, which is significantly scarier under the effects of Warrior Instinct. The Flash Punch and stuff like that, same thing, we'll talk about it, has more pushback, but it's like, okay, who cares? The TP and the 1 back 2 are like the really scary parts about it. Okay, so for his heat modes, or heat options, he has back 1+2. So back 1+2 acts very, actually, should we talk about it first? So we'll go through this quickly. Up forward 2-1, which can be diagonal canceled. So off of FC, same thing, you can perform this as up forward 2-1 as well. Also mid combo. Sorry, he's blocking it. And yeah. Okay, not the best example, but we can spin option there. It's kind of weird because this looks very similar to his old sidestep 2. It's a sidestep 2-1, but now it's 19. So even out of stagger low, even though you can block this stagger, it's not a launcher, right? And it's 19, so it's not good. It's only mostly there to extend heat dash combo because it's a heating option. I guess one other thing of note we should talk about really quick. This is a full launcher. So he's in a proper rolling state such that, we can go for like our standard forward 3 stance pickups now and whatnot. So like I said, we'll talk about that later, but we'll get to it later. Death Palm still has it. Raijin 1-2 or 1-1, sorry, heat engager. Also, forward 3 can enter into Raijin, and then 1-1 is also NC. Likewise, kind of similar to up forward 2-1. Under effects of here, we can heat dash cancel that extender. The issue, of course, is forward 3 on 18. If you're doing an 18 frame Punisher, it's better to take electric anyway, sort of thing. And also he has other really fast attacks that are really strong. So this is mostly just like you're panicking and whatnot, but like, well, yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Damek 1+2. Under the effects of heat mode is the proper ground pound option. Yeah, actually only under heat. It also, if you notice, same thing, we'll talk about this later. Look at the meter gen. So it costs us basically 5 seconds of our meter. But if we do an option like down 3-2, it also equally costs the same of meter. So there is no real benefit between like of down back 1+2 by itself. It's probably better to go for the down 3-2, simply because it's NC and it's faster to come out, right? It's 8 frames faster. Also, I don't believe there's any major OTG properties, yeah. So it's not like we're playing Tekken 7 where we get a full launcher afterwards. So just keep that in mind. Down 3-2, like we had just shown you, this is only available under heat mode. Also, heat mode and the Warrior Instinct should be distinguished. You know, in your mind, you should have a good understanding that they are not analogous, basically. Up forward by itself is a homing move that's safe on block. So what this does is, instead of being -9, gives us access to a +2 option. And then same thing, still a homing, then the follow-up is guaranteed. And then we're also plus frame. So it's a pretty good anti-sidestep tool. Also, he comes down pretty fast. So I'm not even sure if you can properly interrupt it, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so his old backback 3+4 is gone. Instead, now he has backback neutral 3+4. And it actually costs you the entirety of your meter. So people initially were saying, oh, hey, during this runaway, he's invulnerable. And no, it actually, if he was invul, it would tell us here in the status bar that he would be invulnerable. So yeah, he's not invul. He's just really fast. Also, I've done some testing. Despite the fact that there's this big lightning bolt that comes from the ground, yeah, it doesn't seem to be an attack. I think it's just mostly a taunt. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future someone will figure out exactly what it does. Maybe if like some weird cross-up situation he runs into you. Maybe. I highly doubt it though. I think it's just a taunt, because why would you ever want to use all your meter, right, on an evasive attack, especially when you have a parry that can be canceled and, you know, stuff like that too. Okay, so under the effects of heat mode, basically rather than you just going into stance, so typically what happens when you go into grab, it's +7, but that's the end of the sequence. Also, we're too far, such that if they backdash, the down forward 1, well, I mean, shit, okay, maybe not. Maybe down forward 1 just has a ridiculous range. But yeah, basically, it's hard for us to apply the pressure, so we have to take a little bit more risk. With that being said, we're playing Heihachi, so, you know, we do have access to down 1, which is our go-to 16 option, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and try down forward 1. Yeah, so backdash would blow it up. So the difference here is under the effects of heat mode, we enter into charge stance right away, or the Fujin stance, which is brand new for Heihachi in this game. Also, in the preview, I had called this basically... Sorry. I had called this charge because if you look at it, it acts very similar to Jinpachi's charge stance. The issue here is while we do have charge 1, which is the advancing TGF, we don't have access to charge 2. Same thing, we'll talk about this later. But instead, charge 2 is the guard breaker high. So we don't have a long range electric, which a launcher. We just have the charge 2. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. So this is basically just for maintaining pressure on this loop. Because keep in mind, kind of similar to Reina, these throws out of Raijin and Fujin stance are all equally inescapable. So there's nothing you can do to escape these whatsoever. So now being +7 in a stance where we're left right next to the opponent allows us to maintain pressure. And then you see those like loop options, which are really popular on Twitter right now over the last, you know, let's say 12 hours. Okay, so as talked about, Raijin stance under the effects of heat mode acts very similar to Heaven's Wrath under heat, where Heihachi reverses incoming attacks. So kind of similar to Kasumi, or sorry, not Kasumi, Reina. We have access to wall stand 4-4 into stance. We can also not go into stance by just not holding down, but we can access into Raijin by holding down. So similar idea, Tsunami Kick, Raijin entrance, they try to attack us, then they get beat. So just to show it, since this one we won't be able to go back to later, might as well talk about it now. So punishment, we'll just go ahead and do, out of curiosity, this should theoretically still get beat or beat electric, but let's find out. Okay, we'll put you on block. Oh yeah, and also, I think Tsunami Kick jails. Okay, there you go, yeah. Even 13 frame electric still gets beat, whereas if we try to, you know, go Tsunami Kick typical, -15 on block. So we still get beat, but yeah. Under the effects of heat mode, you know, the reversal still does work. Okay, so Heihachi's interesting because he has access to 2 different heat smashes. So he has 2+3, or heat smash by itself, which enters into stance, into the Fujin stance, and then he has the forward variation. Let's see. Unless it's back. I bet. Am I messing it up? Oh, okay, so I guess both of them are the same thing on block. So let me go ahead and take this off. So we're plus 15 or plus 10 into charge. So then we have access to TGF on I think 16. So okay, whatever. First things first. Let's go ahead and talk about these. Period. Okay, so if we do neutral heat smash, this is a ground pound. So what that does is a strong floor break. Instantly, if you're on a strong breakable floor, there's no hits on the floor. This will effectively be a launcher on a ground break stage. But at the same time, he also has the advancing version. So if you don't want to break the floor, if you'd rather have a wall splat situation, he has the advancing version that pushes into the wall. Also, like the other characters, oh yeah, look at this. I can hold, watch this. Whoa, look at that shit. That's a cool change. So like the other really strong heat smashes though, he can actually wall splat launcher and then do your full combo right after. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of that mechanic, but you know what? Fuck it. It's a thing now. It's a little too late to complain, but yeah, it does cause, not only does it do a strong wall break, but it does a full wall splat too. So same thing. You're anywhere like close-ish to the wall, the advancing options are going to push him into it. We don't get the chain animation there, but we still get the wall splat regardless of it being the second hit only that hit him. So yeah, that's definitely nice. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Oh, man. That's so helpful. Oh, my God. Okay, so his rage art. What did people call it? Like, domain expansion? So same thing. He takes you to the, presumably, Hanmaru graveyard here, where all his ancestors are buried. And then he blows it up. Because, yeah, I mean, that's just how Heihachi rolls, right? Typical rage art, mid, I-20, minus 15 on block. And then does the standard scaling, so 55 when you're at maximum rage, and then it scales more from there. Nothing special about it otherwise that's really noteworthy. Okay, Flash Punch combination should really be its own distinction, and how can I do that? Okay, so Flash Punch, same thing, is like everyone's favorite Flash Punch with a little bit of a twist on it. So it still does cause wall splat, which is really fun because, right, he has access to Fujin too into wall splat option and then spin a line from there. But what's different now is Flash Punch by itself, the timing on it's a little bit different. So rather than being like jab jab, it's now, oh shit, fuck you, Kazuo. I mean, it's still okay. He's gonna get hit, but yeah, it's still minus 10 or I-10. But yeah, if you notice now. There's a little bit of lag on it. Or not lag, it's not the right word. The timing on it's different. So rather than being like jab jab, it's, or jab jab. God dang it. Okay. Basically the animation's completely different. With that being said, it's still hit confirmable, so it's not really a big deal at the end of the day. But I know there was some contention with people thinking that you wouldn't be able to like full confirm, but like look how delayed that option was, right? So still hella good, full wall splat knockdown. Under the effects of the charge up, the warrior instinct is stronger, but we'll get that to that later. Now, the big difference, though, is on block. Yeah, 1-1 is not -1. So unlike other Mishima characters where their start of their Flash Punch is -1 on block, this is now -5. So there is some issues with using 1-1 into like, 1-1, down back to full crush jump or 4, 1-1, he doesn't really have the generic Demic 3 anymore, so it's now a different input. So you have to be careful. You can't just force this 1-1 anymore. Beyond that, though, on jab by itself, it has the same properties, +8 on hit, +1 on block. You can still confirm it for full wall splat. But yeah, now for just constant mashed out 1-1 pressure, it's just off the table, which is probably a good thing because, yeah, he's still like the only character with an I-10 wall splat Punisher. So it is a big deal sort of thing. And I just thought about it, man, because I'm on a different stick, so the home button and stuff like that are different. So let me try figuring this out really fast. So if I do insert insert plus insert. Oh, that's gonna mute me. Okay, what's the insert next? Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, nothing really to talk about. It's now generically +8. He still has the extension 1, 2, 2, which is still a thing. But yeah, it's just +8. So if you don't want to commit to like a 1, 1 confirm, which doesn't really make sense because it's so strong, Flash Punch. If you just want the easier +8, it's on the table. Safe on block. And then also furthermore, he does have the extension, which is 1, 2, 2. Same thing, +4 on hit. So it's the Mishima style 1, 2, 2. You can also kind of delay it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Okay, yeah, you definitely cannot delay it anymore. Okay, take it back. Now the difference, though, is instead of our standing +4, we can hold down to enter into Raijin stance. So from Raijin stance at +4, we can have access. Okay, don't want to really talk about Raijin theory yet, but Raijin 1 is your like go-to option. I-13. So we'll take our +4 and then force a 50-50 between like Raijin 1, 2, and then Raijin 1, 1, which again is the heat engager option there. But yeah, it's nice. Have a standing +4. Sometimes you don't want pure knockdown. Of course, by a wall, you want the wall splat. But yeah, sometimes standing OP is okay for follow pressure, especially now seeing that down forward 1 actually has like a really good range. I didn't realize that. That's a Season 4 change that clearly has made its way into this game. So, okay, so this is a little bit different. So he's always had 1, 2 slide option. So rather than us going for 1, 2, 2, we can cancel 1, 2, 2 into the mid cancel. So the mid cancel now is sorry, cancel it. It's no longer safe on block. Like we could in older Tekken games, we can cancel it. Whoopsies. To either side. But yeah, the big difference, of course, it's no longer safe on block. Sorry, I'm not used to the slide on that. My bad. And of course I fuck up. 1, 2, 2, slide 1 + 2. But yeah, now -11. The difference here is he now has the extension slide 1 + 2, which is -13. So all of these slide inputs basically lead to that. Also, this should be fully NC. Yeah, so fully NC. If you want to play chicken with someone, standing 44 damage isn't bad, especially if you're like really mixing up on your slide pressure and then like sidestep canceling, stuff like that. It's okay to let it rock. A lot of characters can't really max punish 13, so it's not the worst thing in the world. So realistically, I don't think people are going to go for the solo mid anymore. They're going to go for full distance to try to get wall splat instead. My guess that's probably going to be their meta going forward. So now 1, 2, 4. He still has 1, 2, 4. The difference is, oops, not key charge. He now has a standing, like big straight kick. So instead of being like a rotating roundhouse, it's now a big high straight kick instead. So if you know this animation looks identical to stand 4. Same practicality. So post launcher, 1, 2, 4 is essentially the same as electric into stand 4, except it's coming off of a 10 frame jab. But let's see. Now the thing I actually haven't tested, I don't know if 1, 2, 4 is NC or NCC. Okay, it's not NCC, but it still has the counter at 1, 2 high kick to the face. So okay, important to note that. Okay, so yeah, so you guys probably remember it. Remember it now. But basically, the 1 back to 1 + 2 was a really strong option that Heihachi had in T7. Basically, a counter hit confirmable I-10 launcher. So now things are a little bit different with 1 back to 1, 2, and then 1 + 2. So let's go ahead and start with it. So 1 back to 1 is basically TGF. Like the normal TGFs, it's -15 on block. It's not really a good mix-up. The issue why it's not a good mix-up is because all the options out of 1 back 2, including the 4, they're all mids. So like TGF doesn't really net us anything. We're taking a lot of inherent risk with it, especially when the frame data on the TGF, we talked about this in the T7 video, the frame data on the TGF is like identical to the mid kick. So TGF really isn't benefiting us here. Also, I'm pretty confident it still doesn't do anything on hit either. Yeah. So a lot of inherent risk there. The big one, of course, is just the transition into Raijin from doing back 1, back 2. A couple of things of note. 1, back 2 on block, just like old Tekken games, is -2. So from here, we have access to our parry traps and whatnot. Heat Burst Turnstile, Power Crush Turnstile, Demic 2 if you want to try to thread underneath a high, so on and so forth. So it's okay having that. Also the fact like the stance entrance off of Raijin is okay. With that being said, I wouldn't, like we talked about earlier with like wall stand 4-4 into Raijin. I mean, this isn't really a valid trap so much as like you should just be looking for pressure. So once again, committing to like, for instance, Raijin 1-1 if you think they're going to go slow. Otherwise, on hit, it is NCC. Of course, the final hit is not NCC regardless of whatever one you do. The exception is 1, back 2, which is NCC, but we'll get to that very soon. But everything else off of the stance, or like whatever you want to call this, yeah, none of them are NCC. They're all way too slow. And like I said, risk versus reward isn't there. Instead, it's really just to use and abuse this plus -2 situation, which, Heihachi is so famous for. Back in the day, rather than do like 1, back 2 until like, it would be hold down nowadays, it would be like 1, back 2 and then manual Raijin entrance to parry them. But now, of course, instead of Raijin, it's now charge of 4-2+3, and Raijin itself is down 1+2. So at that point, why would you want to do down 1+2 when you can do access to a faster version of Raijin by tapping down? So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, very next move is what we were talking about. So of the 1, back 2 options, the only one that's properly NC is this string here. Now, the really big problem is that this actually, in my experience, is not hit confirmable anymore. So like in the old game, like that would be the timing. I don't know if you can hear that or see that on the screen. But yeah, the timing does not work anymore. Like, look at that. See, I was a fraction late, and it was no longer NCC. But if I mash the input out, it is there. Other thing of note is, instead of us being +9 into full crouch, yeah, we're now -13S. So we're playing against Kazuya. He can twin piston us for going for the string. And like I said, the timing is really fairly stagnant on all the options, so all the options are roughly coming out at the same time. And then furthermore, there is no benefit to that final hit anyway. Because like even under the effects of counter hit, I'm fairly confident it doesn't do anything, period. Okay. Sorry, the range, of course, is like the big thing here, right? But yeah, nothing good. It looks very similar to 4-2+2, but we're +6 instead of +14. So mileage may vary. Now, under the effects of heat, or not heat mode, Warrior Instinct, and I guess I can just show the preview here. Now, it's a big difference, because now we have a full ground splat, just like we're playing the old Tekken 7. So now we have the old access to the option like that. But same thing, I don't think under counter hit, yeah, it still doesn't do anything. Okay, we get knocked down, but who cares? The big thing is just the splat option, and then like Omen, Thunder, God Fist, down forward, get a kick. If you want just a symbol stomp line, unskilled option. So it kind of acts like that still, but beyond that, you're never ever going to want to use this move because it just doesn't do anything relative to how unsafe it is. So in my opinion, similar thing, 1 back 2 4 is just a plus frame option. They are kind of kicked kind of far-ish. Yeah, I don't believe this does anything on counter it either. Yeah, so we'll talk about the slash kicks later and stuff like that. But yeah, this is just antiquated. And then also, he cannot transition to the low kick. Instead, he can transition into, Raijin again, but same thing. That's not transitioning off of the kick. That's only off of the 1 back 2 instead into Raijin stance. Okay, 2-2 is actually a brand new move in this game. So they took a lesson from Kazuya, and now he has an 11 frame plus frame tool. I don't know how you're supposed to use this. This does not do anything on counter hit. The good news, it's completely safe on block. Yeah, okay, that's about it. But on your 11, I mean, I guess maybe there's scenarios where your jab's gonna miss and 11 will hit, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think they have roughly the same amount of range. I guess the benefit here is you're never gonna get punished because it's completely safe on block. That's about it. But yeah, it doesn't do anything otherwise. I mean, yeah, like no, not under heat mode, not under warrior instinct. There's no special property on it. I personally don't know why it's there. Okay, speaking of moves, I don't know why they're there. 3-2 is weird. So back in the day, he had the mid kick, straight kick. Now it got replaced by 3-2. 3-2 is 15. On counter hit, yeah, okay, I thought not. It doesn't do anything. There probably are combos where like 3-2 down maybe is preferred. But the issue that I have with it is just, yeah, the data on it is not good. The hit damage isn't that good. It's 15, so it's a little bit slower for what it does. I guess, okay, we're +9, but on 15, wouldn't you rather go for electric on 14 or enhanced twin piston, so on and so forth? Yeah, even by the wall, same thing. It's like he has faster options like down 4-4-2. I don't understand where 3-2 would really be valuable. So yeah, look at that. Even on block, it's just not, the frame data is just bad. Okay, oh, okay, so they're okay. So, okay, instead of us being -13, we're -2 into Raijin. So I guess that's a heat trap, but I don't know. It feels janky. It doesn't really do anything relative to the rest of his kit. So yeah, maybe, okay, be worried, guys. In the future, there's a trap here, I suppose. The other thing of note is, yeah, we do have access to Raijin 1+2, which is a Power Crush. So Power Crush is activated on frame 7. Okay, so that means this 3-2 into Power Crush can't be interrupted. But, okay, I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know. It's just a trap tool, I suppose. I don't think I've ever seen someone use this, and in experimentation, it doesn't seem practical. Okay, stand for, as we have shown already, basically a standing straight kick. Counter hit, it's a crumple stun launcher, so I guess if you have some plus frame trap idea, you can go for stand for. But at the same time, I think the most practical use of it will be mid combos, where stand 4 and then 1-2-4 will cause instant spin. With that being said, 4-4-2 also causes instant spin, so its practicality is kind of limited. I guess the difference here between 4-4-2 and stand 4 is it looks like maybe the height is different. But yeah, that's kind of limited use. But like I said, it's going to be just combo usage. Oh, you want to do an easy peasy combo? That's never going to drop out? Stand 4, right? Okay, sure. Makes sense. Okay, I was wondering. I didn't think it caused chip damage, but I wasn't sure. Okay, now here's an interesting one. So, Demon Scissors. So, everyone's favorite forward slide 3. Oh, it's so slow, he's not going to block it. Okay, so it is safe on block. Do 4-4-2, Demon Scissors. Okay, yeah, -10, but we're safe on block here. Dynamic 4, I guess, might beat us on the way up. But yeah, for the most part, it's safe. What's kind of interesting in this game is it can be performed out of FC with 4 slide 2. So if you're doing like Waivu like input between that, I guess you have access to Waivu Demon Scissors. I mean, he could always kind of perform that. So I guess the difference now is you don't tap forward to CC into Scissors or tap up to CC. Now it's just like during the input, like we can still access it. It's mostly a gimmick, but it is nice to be able to do Demon Scissors, hit someone long range where they're not expecting it, and for the most part, you're really fucking safe. So it's like a free attempt to go for. Very similar to Brian's back 4. Demon Scissors, definitely a classico. And in case someone out there is asking, no, I did not forget. We'll talk about that at the very end. Okay, Demon Breath. So I actually anticipated this to be a heat engager. No, it's not heat engager, but instead, because it's not heat engager, it still has its old frame data. So -10 on block. Knockdown under the effects of Warrior, I think it is enhanced. But for the most part, this is your just super easy 12 frame Punisher. Because, yeah, he doesn't have knockdown until 13. Well, okay, he has 1-1-2. But yeah, this is like your long range option. Fairly safe for what it does. Yeah, so if you just want to end a combo, wall splat him easily, very fast with a 12 framer, yeah, you have access to 1+2. But yeah, under heat mode is where you're probably going to mostly talk about the 1+2. Okay, 4-2-2 is a brand new attack. So rather than having 4-2-3 extension, so 4-2-3 kind of pick up. So 4-2-3. Now we have access to 4-2. And then, yeah, that can also transition into Raijin stance. And then 2 option, which is the typical option there. So it is still 15 frames. Yeah, I believe it's -2 on block. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, I must be thinking of something else. But yeah, I guess in a similar vein to 3-2, the transition would make it safer. -2. So yeah, unlike 3-2, 4-2-2 has a little bit more practical uses to it. I guess the difference here is stand 3 is a 15 or a mid. But yeah, 4-2 does have pretty good range, all things considered. Like it should hit here. Yeah, that's pretty good for long range 15. Yeah, I guess stand 3 just a little bit less range, but 4-2 is decent. It's still oftenly used for filler. The only difference is 4-2-3, of course, is no longer there, so it's not safe on block per se. So kind of similar to what we've seen earlier, the slide is now unsafe on block, -11. Most people are going to go for the full slide route, which is -13. Also, you can cancel it just like his other slide options. So applied pressure, jab, jab, cancel. Like, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? And, you know, pressure, 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 heat burst, churn steal, lockdown, stance entrance, mix-up shenanigans, stuff like that. Okay, forward 3 is been changed. So forward 3 by itself no longer has a counter launcher on it. On hit, it is +9, but if we transition into Raijin stance, we're +12. So from Raijin, I might as well talk about it again. At 12, 1-1 Raijin is guaranteed, and likewise, under the effects of heat mode, can be heat dash canceled for OTGF follow-up and whatnot. Most people are probably going to get hit by this a lot, simply because it's really fast. And then also, like the other ones, the transition is very safe, all things considered, and under heat mode, furthermore, we do have that auto parry off of Raijin's stance. Oh, one other thing of note. Oh, shit. Whoops, my bad. One other thing of note is that forward 3 hits really, really, really low to the ground. So if we're in a combo, we can still do a full combo continuation. You can actually technically do 4 electrics in a row and still thread in a forward 3. For the most part, despite the fact that this is 18 and it looks high, it looks, in my experience, he kind of starts where his foot is, so it hits very low. So even if they're like really low to the ground, like look at that, it still picks them up. So it's good. It's really good for filler. You're going to be doing combos that you didn't anticipate would work, which is really, really unfortunate. Okay, forward, everyone's favorite. Safe overhead attack on plus frames, on hit, on counter hit, guarantees, you know, either 4-4-2 or OTGF. OTGF should hit. But everyone's really favorite part about this, and by everyone's favorite, I mean everyone fucking hates it, is the fact that against a crouching opponent, we are +15, I guess, in this game. So that means we get Twin Piston is the big one. We get the TP, the new style TP, which I'm missing the just frame. I guess I'd have to turn on my sound to get accustomed to it. But what's interesting, though, is that +15 actually is better than it sounds, because if we transition into Raijin stance, now we have access to a different move that's 15, and that's Raijin 2. So if we read the opponent crouching, confirm it during Raijin entrance, hit the 2, we get a full spin launcher. Of course, otherwise, you know, under the effects of Warrior Instinct, we can just do a Twin Piston confirm right away on 13. So no stance entrance, we keep it safer rather than have to commit to that. You know, we just have a super simple TP instead confirm, extra 2 frames to play with, and we're safer in general. So even on block, we're left at plus frames. The difference here in this game is our back 4 is no longer a mid counter hit homing attack. It's now a different option. So for our homing, we have to use an option like back 3, which is a high. But we still are plus frames on block, TP charge option, hit the just frame, we're completely safe on block, so on and so forth. +4, flash punch combination, hit confirm, solo poke down 4-1, down 2 options. We can really effectively use this +4 quite often, especially against stance characters down 1 on 16, so on and so forth. But yeah, the nice thing is you can transition into Raijin and confirm the ducking now with that change, so it's interesting. Speaking of interesting changes, Chrome Dome was changed, his old 12-frame Punisher. It is still a high, but now we're left at 14. So we have access to TP. We have access to the other TP, such that if we are under the effects, remember, again, this only is under the effects of Warrior Instinct, so let me go ahead and show you. Right, no launcher, just a knockdown state. Or, if you have heat, although it's a little bit hard, sorry, I'm on a different stick. Basically, sorry, okay, I'm not going to be able to do it, because on my other stick I could hit this. We have access to the I-14 at its fastest, 4-4-1+2, which is then heat dash cancelable launcher. So what that means, for 12 frame, we can 12 frame into 4-4-1+2, heat engage afterwards, and still get a full launcher, and then, pick up, and then go from there, sort of thing. So that means he has a 12-frame launcher, beyond having a 13-frame launcher, and then, of course, unlike Warrior Instinct, the 4-4-1+2 just requires heat dash cancel, and the other nice thing is 4-4-1+2 on block is completely safe. So it is essentially a free attempt if you confirm on 12. You just need, oh, there you go, of course I hit it now. Yeah, it's NC. So keep that in mind. So having access to a 12-frame launcher, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, 4-3+4 is how you enter into charge stance. From here, you can cancel stance by guarding, although I don't think it's instant. It looks pretty fast, but that's definitely not instant. Instead, we have access to... Oh, they're not going to talk about it yet? What the fuck? They talked about that? Okay, whatever. We'll talk about it later. Okay, down 4-1-1. I-13 on hit, +4 on block. Okay, looks like -5 now, so the frame data is worse, but on block itself, it's also safe. So to mix up with the down forward 1-1, right, we have access to the other twin piston, down forward 1-2. But yeah, one thing of note, so down forward 1, as we've seen, actually has really good range in this game. Also, I've noticed how this little hop animation looks very similar to Bruce CD1. So back in the day with Bruce could do CD1-2, which was a high, mid-high, or CD1-4, which was a mid. So it looks like they took lessons from Bruce. Maybe Bruce will be the next character in Winter because of that. Because yeah, this is a Bruce animation. So they brought Bruce back a little bit at least. So it's kind of weird he has this. So he takes a little hop forward now. And then yeah, 50-50. And then of course as filler, it's okay. It's not bad. He does have better filler though, with like back 3-2. Okay, I guess not in that situation. But yeah, if they're lower to the ground, back 3-2 can still be used. Then 4-3 afterwards, stuff like that. So, as I was saying, the mix-up to down forward 1-1 is down forward 1-2. So, the issue here, in case you don't know, down forward 1-2, the 13-frame twin piston for Heihachi in older games, used to be a wall splat or knockdown. So, we lost the wall splat property, and then also on block, it's still -13, but the opponent is left in a standing state. So, the way they got around that is they changed it. So, now Heihachi can charge twin piston, and it's not unsafe on block. And then also, if they try to power crush you, because this is a red spark, this will break the power crush going through. So he has a safe mix-up to down forward 1-1, but of course, this hits on frame 38, so you can interrupt them with like a 30-framer easily to counter hit them. So you might think to yourself, okay, well, what's the difference? Now, the difference is a new mechanic. I wouldn't say like new is not quite correct, but a mechanic that is very special to Heihachi in this game is he now has access to just frame inputs that are outside of doing something as simple as hit the button on the same frame, and then we get an electric, right? So in Tekken, they kind of use the term just frame loosey-goosey. So because I'm hitting down, forward, and 2 on the same frame, this is what's referred to as a just frame. So just frame gives me an electric. If I don't hit it on the same frame, You see my down forward is 3 frames before my 2 comes out. I'm no longer just frame. And there you go. Now I hit adjust frame, doing the manual control. But yeah, that's adjust frame. But now they're adding true just frame. So what this means is if you hold it for an X amount of frames, there's a window, I think it's about 5 frames, where we go over, of course, you got the true just frame right there, where this is still NC, but on block, it's actually completely safe on block. So no longer are we minus 13 on standing, we're now minus 9 on charge. And there I keep hitting the true just frame. So if you notice the blue spark, so what we do, we hit it, we charge it, let it go, and then we get the blue spark out. And let me put sound on, because sound actually helps with this timing. So look at the blue spark. And what we're doing is we're basically letting go of the button right as the spark on his right hand occurs. So look at the right hand. Notice that spark. We're basically letting go right as that spark occurs. Now, what they did with Heihachi, though, and this is fully NC, the just frame, and it's a knockdown. It's not as clean in knockdown, but I believe at the wall, it still does the job, so let's find out. Yeah, okay, yeah, it doesn't properly splat anymore. Of course, we still have access to TP-ish. Okay, so the difference here now, though, is while this is more of a just frame, where we have a 5-frame window for our input, it's either 4 or 5 frames. What they've added for Heihachi is he can actually go into a true perfect input. So if you hold and release it, and there you go, first try, cop. So under the effects of the true just frame, we hold it for the exact frames or exact amount of frames the game wants us to hold it for. So instead of it being a like 4-frame or 5-frame window, we're now hitting it on the 1-frame window. And what happens is the frame data is the same, but the amount of damage that's dealt and chipped is significantly higher. So, of course, I'm not going to get it now. But yeah, he has a couple of what people call either yellow spark or like true just frame extensions. But yeah, it's signified by the yellow sparks and the yellow stone coming off of him. So yeah, that's completely new in this game. And then also, because it's red spark, this is going to destroy Power Crush. There you go. That's the yellow spark version. So more damage on block, more damage on hit. So it is nice. It's nice that they added that. So the issue, though, is, yeah, your timing has to be on point. And also the twin piston extension seems to be worse when it comes to, like, properly, not confirming, but properly being NC. I don't know. There's something weird with twin piston. I haven't explored enough of the game to say what it is quite yet. But there is definitely something weird going on. Okay, so speaking of his normal TP, he has down forward 2-1, which is I-13. Under the effects of charge, it becomes a full launching twin piston. But unlike the old down forward 1-2, which is like minus 13, or minus 13 in crouching, twin piston on block is minus 17. So if you don't score the proper knockdown, you will leave yourself susceptible to launch punishment. Also under the effects of the warrior, warrior instinct, we're still minus 17, so we're not any safer on block. The only difference is now we have access to the spin launching property on the TP rather than just being a knockdown. Okay, so of the similarities to Lydia, down forward 3, 1+2, 1 is like the big one. So similar to Lydia, forward 1+2, her political storm. Down forward 1+2, 1 is fully NC. Also, it is, let's see, by the wall, it does not cause wall splat. It just causes, like, the bonus damage, but no proper wall splat, like Lydia's too. Instead, you're going to be using this at the wall for your wall combo. So like back 1-4, and then we smash our twin piston out. It's consistent damage, so no longer do you have to go for, like, back 3-2, 1+2 structures, stuff like that. You just fucking face roll this input. So I'm not really trying to dig against Heihachi here, but yeah, it is a big deal to have, like, a super easy, like, option. Now the difference, though, between Heihachi and Lydia is that unlike Lydia's, who the second hit of her political storm is minus 13, his is 15 on the second hit. So regardless if you go full distance, the last hit is minus 15. But for Heihachi, the second hit again is also minus 15. So you can't get away from it being launch punishable. So on defense, you're going to have to determine if the Heihachi player is going to try to confirm it and he's going to stop on the second hit and not hit the final hit, or if the Heihachi player is just playing on reads and is going to mash it out. Of course, the other thing is that as a 15-frame punisher, they might just use it as a punisher. But so if you're not minus 15 and they try 15ing you, you can still launch them, so on and so forth. One difference, or one thing here, is under the, he does have, like Lydia, and it's harder for me to hit the, there you go. So he has a blue spark extension, like Lydia does too. Lydia's is QCF 1+2, Heihachi's is QCF 1. So it's not super difficult, but of course I'm fucking it up here. But at the same time, I'm also playing on different sticks, so please forgive me. But yeah, I mean, either way, they're equally launch punishable, so you might as well go for the more damaging option, period. There's no reason, right? Just always go for the QCF extension every time if you're going to mash it out. Same thing at the wall. The same thing is true. You're going to do the just frame extension whenever possible to make sure it works. Okay, this is a big, big change. So you might have noticed now, like I said, Twin Piston doesn't properly wall splat. As we've seen, the real Twin Piston doesn't wall splat either. So what do we do for wall splat? So actually, we have a brand new move, and that new move is down forward forward 2. Down forward forward 2 is a mid I-13 on hit. You can't confirm it, obviously, but at the same time, who cares that you can't confirm it? Because the fucker's only minus 12. So it really, okay, maybe not that good range, but pretty good range, all things considered, and it's an advancing attack. And yeah, this is now your new TP. So if you're open field, you're going to look for the just frame or punisher open. Otherwise, if you're by a wall or anything like that, yeah, you're going to be looking for down forward forward 2 instead as your go-to I-13 punisher. So yeah, it's nice that they added that, especially because yeah, he lost his other TP wall splats. So it is a nice change. Okay, down 1 as talked about. Down 1 is basically your go-to low stance beater. If you want consistent like finisher option, down 1 is okay. It causes the floor spike as you signified by the yellow ground hit here. Also similar to Paul, you can transition into FC by tapping down or holding down rather, and then from there we have access to like full crouch down 4-4 and shit like that. So, although, ooh, does that require clean finally? Oh, it does. Yeah, that's something that they did to Lydia, but Lydia's is like really dog shit. Okay, so good. At least they did the same thing to Heihachi. But yeah, down 1 is really good. You don't know how to beat a stance character, just down 1 them. Down 1-2, completely safe on block. The difference here is now he has an extension, the transition into Fujin or charge stance by tapping forward. Plus 13, we get a free attempt. Okay, one thing of note, so the Fujin, it's a free attempt, but the Fujin stance actually isn't safe on block. So like the charge extension, minus 11. The difference, of course, being that Fujin 2 is the guard breaker. So we'll talk about that later, but yeah, we no longer have access to a long-range electric like the old charge, right? The range is a little bit more muted versus like Jinpachi, but yeah, still similar idea. But we'll talk about, you know, the charge or Fujin meta later. Okay, down 3, should be still safe on block. Oh wow, it has a new animation too. Big overhead option. Safe on block, natural hit knockdown. Under the effects of heat mode, it becomes enhanced with down 3 2. And I believe down 3 2 is also safe on block. Yeah, plus 0. So pretty good. Yeah, not much else to say about it. Mid combo, you can be using it as a spike. So for instance, if we are under the effects of heat and warrior. Whoops. Oh, why did that drop out? Yeah, it causes spike and then follow-up is guaranteed. So, okay, actually what I was thinking of, come to think of it, I just thought of what I was meaning to do. Yeah, I mean, look at that. We got basically get 2 unscaled hits, and then the push away is also guaranteed. Also similar to down back 1+2, the down 3-2, as far as I know, I believe also has the same like kind of guard property. So yeah, even if he doesn't get hit, yeah, it's still gonna cause that same enhanced ground pound effect. So like I said, there's really no reason to use down back 1+2 raw, because down 3-2 is like so much better. So maybe in the future they'll change that. But for now, that's how it is. Okay, down 1+2 is basically just manual entrance into Raijin stance. This used to be forward 3+4, but no longer, it's just down 1+2. Oftentimes out of stances, you enter into, or moves out of, you enter into stance by just tapping down. So instead of down 1+2, you just tap down midstring to go into it. Okay, down 1+4, unblockable. Nothing else has changed. Of course, he did lose Fujin, or sorry, Raijin 2. It's no longer the big, or Raijin 1+2, sorry. Yeah, he no longer has the big option now. Instead, it's just the big hammer down. I think it does still have the really low hitbox. So, I haven't seen anyone like day 1 sort of go any sort of, he's on block? Yeah, that makes sense. So I haven't seen any like day 1 sort of resets yet, or like low slump guarantee, but they probably still are there, because yeah, he goes like all the way to the ground. So he's gonna hit very low. Stances will also get hit. Down back 1. Was this used to be Rashomon, or was that maybe back 2 is Rashomon? But yeah, everyone's favorite option. The difference here is I don't think down back 2 is a counter at launcher, or counter at knockdown. Sorry. Yeah, there's no more counter at knockdown. It now gives you this very obvious +6 animation. So rather than Heihachi able to sneak out a full crouch down 4-4, always now it's obvious for your opponent that you're negative, and you probably should block. Still has really good range. Should still be equally launch punishable. Oh, do I really not have wild block on? And I'm so hot, dude. Holy crap. Yeah, so still punishable, but at least it's not a stagger low, I suppose. Ooh, does it? Oh, look at that. It's, oh man, I didn't know that. So the range you're left at, we can't even go for full crouch down 4-4 guaranteed anymore. Spicy, so that means we have to go for like a Hellsweep line instead. Interesting. Okay, so it nerfed his low. Down back 3, they got rid of this, the generic down back 3 low. Instead, it's now just a standing low. It looks very similar to Paul back 4. The problem here is down back 3 doesn't do anything on counter hit. On block, it's -13, and it doesn't do anything. So on hit, -2. It's completely invisible on 16. Against Kazuya, okay, you get blown up, but most characters, right, they really can't do it, so who cares? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it, but okay, he has now a chipping low that's not this old down back 3, which I guess was maybe probably a little too oppressive for beginner players to deal with. Okay, back 1-4 is his now brand new combo extender. Oftentimes, if you're not going to go for like a forward 3 Raijin 2, you're now going to be going for, whoops, you're now going to be going for back 1-4 instead. As shown, that's going to be your go-to at the wall. And then same thing, because you can still thread in. Okay. Well, with double electric, so he's stuck in low. He already has 1 wall hit here. But then we're still allowed to go for the full, you know, whatever you want to call it, the political storm. Fully works there too. So even after back 1-4, it still works that way. So it's nice, consistent option, and then yeah, it's a mid-mid. So it's pretty good for extension. On counter it, I don't think it does anything, but let's find out. Okay, causes flop state, but look how far he is from us. Wow, that's really far away. So I guess our only option would be 4-4-2 then. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if he fucking. Yeah, there's no way Omen's gonna hit there. Now, with that being said, I guess maybe the stomp might hit. Oh no, they're way too far. Okay, 442. Sure. Oh, Rashomon. Okay, so yeah, back to. So kind of similar. Rashomon is on block +2. So it no longer has a counter property like it used to have in older games. So you're like, oh, okay, +7 on block +2. Cool. But the real juice on Rashomon is under, like, similar to Twin Piston. He has an extenders on it. So if we charge it, it causes a full flop. So, you know, we get Omen. Drop my combo. Pull Omen out. Otherwise, 442. Under heat mode, we can also do down 3, which is probably the preferred one. Oh, maybe there's not time to do down 3, though. It might be a little too slow. Maybe you have to go for Omen then. I don't know for a fact. Then on block, it also deals chip damage. So good amount of chip damage, and instead of us being +2, we're +5. But similar, like I said, to Twin Piston, Rashomon also has 2 different extensions. So he has the Just Frame version, where we let it go and get a blue spark. If we hold it for 17 frames, and look at, I'm 18 frames. Oh, that was a 17. Oh, +1. 16 +2. There you go. 14 plus 4 plus 13. So if we hold it for exactly 17 frames, you get that the perfect animation version. Again, 1 frame slower, 1 frame quicker. We don't get the right input. Now, one other thing of note that I didn't mention about the Twin Piston is the Rashomon or all these just frames. While 17 is the perfect input for it, if we hit it on 16, so there, I can't believe I hit it this first try, by the way. 4 plus 12, 16. Notice how we get the bad property of the input. So we don't get the blue spark, we don't get the yellow spark, we get the generic option of it, which is the worst variation of it, right? Because here we get knockdown, here we get flop state, and then with the just frame we still get knockdown. But the non-version, we don't get knocked down. We're +7 and pushed decently far away for us to keep pressure going. So when you go for the proper just frame, you are kind of risking not everything, you're risking a lot. Because here, if I'm not hitting the yellow spark on Twin Piston, then we're not getting the right input out. So, okay, back 3-2. As talked about, this is now a homing attack. It's also fully NC. And similarly to its T7 properties, the second hit actually still is a counter hit launcher. So if you want to let the back 3-2 rock, you get the counter hit. The one thing of note is on counter hit, we don't get the property. The second hit itself has to be the counter hit there for us to get the nice little knockdown follow-up option, so on and so forth. So yeah, he does have that, and as mentioned, you can still use it as filler in certain combos if you want to do so, because it's so easy. But at the wall, it's a little bit more antiquated nowadays. So to mix up to the high option, he has back 3-3. Back 3-3 is still the overhead kind of down 3, get a stomp instead. Also similar to the old back 3-3, it is also still -12C, but it is full, full mix-up. Also on counter hit, it doesn't do anything, so don't get excited. It's still just causing knockdown, whereas the back 3-2, of course, is the counter hit launcher. So yeah, it's just a mix-up. I guess if you want to break the floor outside of forward 4, like mid combo, like back 3-3, I guess you have access to, but there are probably still better options in the grand scheme of things. Okay, back 4 is interesting. So they got rid of the counter hit option. So as you see, it does chip damage on block. It is completely safe. It also kind of is advancing. Oh, look at that, it has a whiff. I didn't realize it had a whiff animation. So if you whiff, you whiff. Wow, okay. So it's kind of similar to Asuka forward 1. So there's a penalty on it, but to be honest, the range you're using at, it's always going to hit. So it causes wall splat, knockdown. It's completely safe on block. So you might think to yourself, okay, well that's kind of nice. And then you find out that it's a counter hit launcher. And I don't know why it's a counter hit launcher. Again, it's so good range. It kind of feels like overkill to give it that. But yeah, 4-4-2. If you'd rather go for the new 4-3-1 structure, 4-3 down 2, you know, Raijin kind of options. He has that. But yeah, it's really, 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 really good. And again, of course, by the wall, it's a free attempt at a full wall splat that's safe on block. It's super, super strong. Like, a little bit too strong, but hey, he has it. Like I said, the only thing I didn't know is I didn't know it had this whiff animation on whiff. But again, you're never gonna whiff it. I guess maybe if they sidestep it. Out of curiosity, let's see how you sidestep it, because I haven't tested that at all. So we'll put him on block, put you on sidestep. Okay, track that way. Okay, so sidestep to the right to evade it. Big amount of whiff. Yeah, we recover a good like 40 frames later, so easily sets up a sidestep into launch, I suppose. Okay, back 1+2, as we talked about, is basically the parry for Leroy. Instead, we have so down back 1+2 with Leroy. Instead, it's just back 1+2, automatic parry option, and then it's also heat engage, although it only causes flop state, so of course you're not going to get the big damage that Leroy gets. Instead, we just get Omen God Fist afterwards, so on and so forth. It's okay. You can often use it in quite a few trap options, like, you know, 1 back 2, as we talked about. Any sort of really simple poke option, parry, heat burst, take your turn back, so on and so forth. It's a little bit worse than, of course, it was with Leroy, where back 1+4 and back 2+3 was a, you know, it basically reversed everything, including elbows and knees. I don't believe this beats elbows and knees. I guess what we can do, I can go ahead and have Kaza do down 4-3, because I know that's a knee. So let's go ahead and have him do a knee. Let's find out. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's going right through our shit, so. Now, just to make sure, we'll do one final test, just to make sure. We'll have him do 1+2 on 12. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got him there. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't beat knees and elbows, headbutts, stuff like that. Of course, if you think the opponent's going to do one of those, just use up forward 1 instead, your power crush option. His old down forward 1+2, but of course, down forward 1+2 nowadays is rage art, so they had to change the input. Okay, up back 2. I haven't seen what this does yet. As the game states, it is a punch parry. So I guess this would be like Leroy up back 2. Okay, so it just causes a knockdown. The window looks less open than back 1+2 though. So I have to kind of wait before initiating it, and then causing flop. So yeah, kind of like I said, kind of similar to Leroy's up back 2. Not to be confused with Leroy's up forward 1, which is the general parry that works on like everything. Just keep that in mind. The two completely different moves if you're not familiar with Leroy. Okay, as talked about, up forward 1 is his power crush. I believe it's still, yeah, -13. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it used to be 14, or maybe it never was 14. But yeah, they changed it, so yeah, it's now 13, active for 2 frames. I don't know if for a fact it still has like where it hits behind him. He does the double flex, so it probably still hits behind him. But of course, this used to be a throw reversal, but being a power crush, you can't, by definition, you can throw it. So that's unfortunate. I was hoping that they would bring back the throw parry and make his power crush something else. But you know, what can you do, unfortunately. Okay, up forward 2-1 was his old sidestep 2-1. Is now a heat engager. On block, -11. Okay, so not that bad. The issue, of course, being that on hit, it doesn't do anything other than knockdown, and even on counter hit, I think also it still doesn't cause like a crumple either. Of course, it being a heat dash cancel, it's a full launcher, so we can still do our full combo line. From there, for the most part, it's going to be used mid combo to extend your combos. You know, something like that. Little carry on the end. I'm sure there's way better combo lines, but you get the idea. So even though this is a diagonal cancelable input, it's hitting on 19. And nowadays, for full crouch, you should be using full crouch jump for 2 on 15 anyway. So as a punish, it's kind of antiquated. It's, I guess, just a, I'm going to go for an all-in safe-ish wall splat. That's probably where it's going to get most of its value from. So I guess on -11, that would be very similar to like Claudio back. Oh yeah, look at the range. Very similar to Claudio back 4. But 19, unlike Claudio back 4, which is 17, I guess it has the range though. So maybe, oh no, it's like that's too slow for Death Fist on 19. So I guess it's just a long range, I need to get something started right now option. Okay, this is, I might have said already, but this is probably the absolute worst change for Heihachi. So he still has Hell Axle. It's still +4 on block. What you can do nowadays, you can extend it. It causes strong aerial tailspin, so you get your spin afterwards, or like a 4-3-4 into Death Fist and shit like that. The problem with this move nowadays, though, is it's actually a full launcher. So we can still get a full extension. So not only are we +4, it's also a full launcher on hit. So I don't know what Namco is smoking when they designed this move. That's way overkill. Way too strong. Almost certainly this will be like the first move to get nerfed of Heihachi. But at the same time, if he doesn't show himself to be super OP, maybe it'll dodge for a while. But yeah, the only issue I think I would have with this is maybe up 4-3-4 isn't JS9. Maybe it's slow like Kazumi, like JS13 or something like that. But it's too good, man. It's so good. And I'm pretty sure jail's on block too. Yeah. So you're forced to block that incoming. Really good. Insanely strong move. Okay, up 4-4. Anti-sidestep move causes knockdown. It looks like we get a flop. That's actually kind of cool. Do I have time to do... Oh, a little bit tricky, but yeah, you can probably still ohm in there. At the bare minimum, down 3. 2, if you have heat mode enhanced, should also hit here. Okay, I'm a little bit far, but I should be able to hit it, yeah. The benefit, of course, we'll talk about later, up forward for 1 is a NC knockdown, and it's also +2 on block. It costs 2 meter, but it's still nice to have that, especially because it's a homing attack and it's a mid. So whereas, you know, back 3 is a high, up forward 4 at least is a mid, and it's jumping and advancing, good range, so on and so forth. Okay, 4-4-2, -12, oh, sorry, -16 on block still. Still causes a full launcher, so, you know, see that combo a lot. Also, as I predicted, against airborne opponent, it does cause a spin. So, kind of similar to Lydia, if you want to do a combo extender, and they're kind of far away, you can always 4-4-2 to still hit them. So I'm sure there's going to be some ground-based resets, you know, like that. If they want to get up off the ground wrong, they get launched. But yeah, also it causes steel pedal too. So if they stay on the floor, they still eat the 4-4-2 guaranteed. So yeah, it's a pretty good catch-all move, and it still has decently good pushback. Like, I guess Mishima, yeah, it's going to be hard to set up max range pushback, but it looks like it's still going to be on the table. Okay, 4-4-3, big overhead launcher. Completely safe on block as well. Yeah, under the effects of, I think, Warrior, it's enhanced, but at the same time, okay, let's see, what they enhance on it? 56, 56, so does better damage? Maybe better on block? Okay, +1 on block. Okay, that's kind of cheap, but whatever. If that's the only improvement, it goes from -3 to +4. Okay, who cares? But yeah, it's completely safe on block. Presumably... Oh shit, my alarm's going off. Presumably, like the other Mishimas though, it's probably sidewalk or probably even side step to our left. Yeah, able to fully evade it by doing simple anti-Mishima movement. 4-4-1 pursuit, we talked about this earlier. I-14 at its quickest. Still linear. But really good range, all things considered. Yeah, advancing attack. And then also, I believe, under the effects of heat cancel, it is also a natural hit launcher. So it's pretty good for a 14. If you have the execution, right, to have access to that, the option is really, 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 really nice. And as we had shown, you can still link it after headbutt. Of course, again, I'm on the wrong stick though, so it's going to be difficult. And then, yeah, heat dash cancel for I-12 launcher if you're under the effects of heat mode already. Otherwise, completely safe on block. -8 as seen already. So it's a free attempt. It's kind of like 1+2, but just a few frames slower and with a more advancing attack built on top of it. Okay, Death Fist is still, I think, very much punishable on block. I think still -17. Yeah, still 17. It's a heat engager. Now, I think the difference here, if I might be wrong, I don't think this is a launcher. Yeah, it causes flop state. So it's a little bit worse than Death Fist when it comes to like follow-up pressure, but it's still a really good range if you need a long range, 15 frame Punisher or 16 possibly. It does fit the bill quite nicely. Only issue though is, yeah, without the natural hit knockdown, the launching status on the heat dash cancel, it's a little bit devalued, but it's still okay if you want to do like a taunt combo. Yeah, you can still do taunt combos like that. Death Fist option, heat engage or heat dash cancel, so on and so forth. Okay, 10 string. The 6 hit is low. I'm not going to do it. Key charge, V108 nerf, is when you throw them, it actually gives you a counter throw now, but you no longer have heat or key charge status after your throw. So you get an enhanced throw, but the damage isn't any better. Still deals 35. Okay, for punishment, wall stand 1 on 13. Omen Godfist follow-up is the preferred option. You can still perform 4 for 2. Or, down 3-2 if you have meter. Geta, yeah, I don't think Geta's hits. Micro Dash Geta does hit still. But yeah, overall, Omen Godfist is going to be your follow-up of choice. On block, I think it's still 14. Yeah, it's still -14 on block. But yeah, they sped this up in Tekken 7 from I-13 to I-14, so it's a nice change to have access to, knockdown 13. Good amount of damage too. Okay, wall stand 2. I think it's still fairly highly evasive. Wall stand 2 also is still a counter launcher. Oh shit, so okay, my bad. It's not a counter launcher. Same thing as the headbutt though. 4 for 1+2 follow-up. Counter hit only. My bad. I don't have notes when I do these. Yeah, I don't have notes when I do these, so this is just, like I said, pure memory. Let's go back to the move list. But yeah, +14. So if you're by a wall, down 4-4-2. Keep in mind you cannot electric because they are recovering in crouch. So electric will go over them. So instead, it'd be like twin piston if you're under the effects of your charge state. So that is fully NC, full launcher. It is 70% scaled. Notice the damage scaling. But yeah, probably you're going to want to go for 4 for 1+2 if you have execution to consistently hit that on 14 to extend your combo afterwards. Okay, wall stand 3 1+2 doesn't do anything anymore. It's safer on block. It's now minus. Oh, okay. I thought this was not safe. I thought this was still 13. Oh, you know what it is? Wall stand 3 is 13 or 11. I don't know why it's 11. So you can interrupt it, I guess. That's the idea. Is regardless of wall stand 3 or wall stand 3 1+2, you'd interrupt. But it's like, it's not a launcher anymore. It just causes wall splat. Let's see, does it cause like a real wall splat? Okay, cool, but yeah, nowadays, of course, full crouch down 4-2 on 15 is what we want to do. But this used to be his old staggered launcher on 18. So, okay, I guess it's safe on block. That's the benefit. But I guess if you commit, don't do wall stand 3 because it's punishable. Just go for the full route. Wall stand 3 1+2. Okay, tsunami kick. Still leaves the opponent in full crouching. Technically, if you have the prowess or the charge ability here, you can go for the counter confirm 1 back 2-2, which would then give you a splat and stuff like that. But beyond that, the pushback on it is worse. So instead, it's probably better just to go for like a down for one poke, jab out. Because again, the one back 2-2 is so much harder to confirm in my experience in this game. It's not worth doing it. As we had talked about earlier, like Reina, we can go for wall stand 4-4 into Fujin, and then under the effects of heat mode, cannot be launched. So that they have to change their strategy to punish you. So you do have access to that. Otherwise, you'll be left in +6, and then on +6 you can go for Raijin 2 for launcher, Raijin 1 if you want to go for a safer option, which would be, parries and rage arts, stuff like that. So at least you have access to something else. So it is a nice change, despite the fact it's still kind of Reina based. It's a nice change though. It's good. Okay, the big one of course is full crush down for 2. That's now your I-15 launcher. If you don't have the prowess to do CC into electric, you now can just do full crush down for 2 into launcher. On block, I think it is 14, so like Reina. But the animation is so weird. Like, I don't think anyone's ever going to confuse this. But yeah, this is a full launcher otherwise. And again, we can still do the same combo. So nice to have that. Also, under the effects of an airborne opponent. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get this. It does cause... what do you call it? Let's see, what would Crumple Stun? Then what was my Crumple Stun again? Oh yeah, back 4. Oops. But yeah, if they go airborne, you still get a spin, so that's nice. So regardless of what they do, if they go airborne, you get at least a small combo, which is one of the nicer changes that, in my opinion, they've made in Tekken 8. Okay, as we've seen, full crush down 4-4 requires clean now, so that's actually a big deal. Because the move itself still staggers on block, although I guess only 23. But yeah, now requires clean for knockdown. And then, of course, we still get the 4-2. I don't fuck it up. I guess I'm fucking up. Yeah, it's hard for me to do 4-forward on stick. Maybe CC down 3? No, he probably can stand up in time. I don't know, it's hard to say. But yeah, it now requires clean, so just keep that in mind. Okay, this is an interesting one. So, Sidestep 2, they got rid of Sidestep 2-1. Instead, now it is a safe... okay, let me put on practice mode. It is a safe sidestep attack. Also, on counter hit, it actually causes a knockdown state. So if you're by the wall, we get our full launcher option. Good to go. Now, what I've seen online, people talk about the use of it. So if you notice, it states we can enter into God stance, into the Fujin stance. Oops. So we can enter it by tapping forward. So now instead of us being +9, we're now +13. But keep in mind, the issue here is that we don't have a 13 or faster. Now we do have Raijin 2, but at 13 Fujin 2 at 13 or +13 onto 17, they can still duck jab and beat that option. Instead, you're probably going to want the same thing, go for charge 1 if they want to try to disrespect you. Beyond that, at the wall, and this like I said, this is what I've read. If you need a single hit option, oops. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit harder to set up. Okay, maybe they're wrong then, because yeah, I had read that you're supposed to use it for single hit. Okay, I'll give it one more shot. Yeah, that does not seem like it works. Okay, so forget about that. So yeah, I guess it's just a guessing game between, do you want to go for the stance entrance, which effectively wouldn't be safe on block, or are you going to go for the safe splat attempt? I think the safe splat attempt is better, but if you really want to force Fujin 2, that's on the table, and of course it's, look at that, really fast, right? +13 to 17, so really, really good. Okay, win God Step. Shift to win God Step with the special move. I don't understand the special move. Are they saying I can do like that? I don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, Wind God Step, just the CD input, light dashing, like full wave dash. I'm on the wrong stick to do this. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Typically when you do the diagonal, you get access to like moves like that, like 4-4-3. But same thing, you could still perform that with like a CC input. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Okay, Thunder God Fist. Minus 15 on block like other TGFs. If you perform under the effects of heat mode, it always comes out as Omen. Supposedly he has a perfect Omen, which I guess look at the animation's a little bit different. So if you hit the true Just Frame Omen, it's a little bit stronger, I guess. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. But yeah, under heat mode, it always comes out. The difference in this game is that Omen, God Fist, no longer is a natural launcher. And then also on block, I think it's a little bit worse. I think it's now 11. Yeah, it's minus 11 now on block rather than minus 10. So yeah, it is a big deal. The launching part of Omen is the biggest part of the deal. And then of course, if you're able to get the Omen in a low slump state, it causes a steel pedal effect too. So that's the big benefit. Just again, keep in mind if you don't get the Omen, if you get a normal God Fist on Oki, you're minus 15. So be careful about that. So there we go, Omen input. So simultaneously. Also, I've noticed it's easier to hit Omen in general in this game. So like even though I can barely hit Omen normally on my stick, like there, see I just hit Omen. It's because I don't think it's no longer truly Just Frame. I think it's like an electric now. It's like an electric Just Frame. But if you have the execution or a cheat box, then yeah, you get the Omen every single time. Just keep in mind, the frame data isn't deferred. You know, between Omens, it's just the damage is different. Okay, electric or Wind God Fist. You know, if you can't do the Wind God Fist, you're minus 10 on block, nothing new. The difference in this game is, of course, under the effects of heat mode. If you do the shitty electrics, you still get electric out. So I'm holding down forward on purpose longer than I should be, getting the wrong input. But the difference here in this game is now Heihachi can actually shortcut electric. So rather than, you know, doing a 14 frame like electric option, now we have access to a proper perfect electric. So rather than forward, down, down, forward, 2, we can now do forward, neutral, down, forward, 2, like such. So essentially we do it in one frame quicker. So Wind God Fist by itself is 11. So rather than us doing an 11 plus 3, we can now perform it in 11 plus 2. So we can launch punish things like hop kick if you have the executional prowess to do it, or are playing on a cheat box sort of stuff. So yeah, that's a big deal. That means Devil Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, and Reina can perform perfect electric. The only one who can't perform it is Jin, although story-wise it's probably because Jin's a Kazama, he's not a Mishima. But I don't know. Yeah, you have access to a 13 now. It's really good. So if you want to practice it, that's on the table. Feel free to do so. Okay, Bone Splitter Kick is the same move it's always been. It's basically just a plus frame option. It looks, you know, mechanically similar to 1 back to 4, except for less frame data. It does chip damage. On counter hit, I don't think it does anything. But let's find out. Whoops, my bad. That's a spoiler alert. Yeah, nothing on counter hit. And then as you had seen there, oh, it's also a spin option. So how the fuck? How the fuck are you gonna get spin? Okay, I guess if they go airborne, you get a spin. Good luck with that. And the other one, of course, is the low variation. So by holding down forward, we can go into a low. And then afterwards, 4-4-2, down 3-2, I think if we still, like, micro dash maybe. Yeah, okay, that's tight, but maybe possible. With 4-4-2, steel pedal is what you're gonna be looking for. But yeah, that's a mix-up if they want to hold mid, you go low. Of course, the low is Mondo launch punishable, so. Okay, Hellsweep, aka Spinning Demon. Straightforward. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. I'm switching between my cheat box, which isn't compatible with PS5, and my keyboard, so that's why I keep hitting the wrong buttons. So Hellsweep is basically Wind God Fist or the crouch dash input, and then we hold it, and then hit 4. So let's turn this off. The benefit here is the second hit of Spinning Demon low is a launcher. So technically, we only have to do 2 before it's a launch. And then from there, we go neutral 4 and stuff like that. So the interesting thing about Spinning Demon is that even though that's the end of the string, we do have extensions to Spinning Demon. So for instance, if you do Spinning Demon 1, we do a mid. Spinning Demon 3, which is a brand new high jump kick. And then finally, Spinning Demon Tsunami kick. So Spinning Demon the whole distance, neutral 4-4, the finish up there. What is important to note is that the Spinning Demon Tsunami kick, and I'm not going to be able to space this out, but this is now minus 15 consistently. It's no longer minus 14 like it was in previous games. One other thing of note is that when it comes to Spinning Demon, the first hit itself doesn't guarantee the second hit, so you have to block the second hit. The second hit is what is actually the launcher. Or I guess, okay, 1 into 2 has to link, or 2 into 3 has to link. But if you notice, this is minus 10, so duck jab, if you're playing Lee, you can do like wall stand 3-3, but duck jab is how you punish it. Under the effects of, what do you call it? Under the effects of Warrior Instinct, though, we get to go through, okay, I'm not going to talk about it yet, but we get to go through at least one block of it, so it's pretty strong. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Okay, so basically, if you want to mix up... Oh, one other thing of note is while Spinning Demon requires us to go... It can go 3 hits, 1, 2, 3. Technically, we can stop after 1 hit, mid. We can stop after 2 hits into mid, or everyone's favorite is basically, you know, full double low, wall stand 4, and then we pick up from here, and then do the, you know, the combo of your choice. So just because it says 3, you can do 1, 2, or 3. Keep in mind, 3 is the end of the string. Heihachi cannot go any further than 3. Also, with the Tsunami kick, he can enter into Raijin stance by tapping down. Okay, manual entrance into Thunder, aka Charge, aka Fujin. We have access to Fujin 1. So, okay, reversal break. So under the effects of reversal, or Warrior Instinct, this is a reversal break. So it will go through power crushes and parries and reversals. As we've seen, this is going to be the one that's going to torment people for a long time. But basically, Thunder Stance 2 is a guard crush, and evidently it's also a natural hit launcher. That's pretty good. Okay, so if we have Heihachi block, charge 2, we break his guard and we're plus 10. So of course, 1-1-2 for wall splat. Otherwise, if you want plus frame standing, 1-2-2. Or any sort of variation on that. The only one you can't do, of course, is 2-2, because that is a... What do you call it? It's 11. So 2-2, he can block that. So yeah, you're almost certainly you're going to want to go for 1-1-2. And of course, in case it's not obvious, by the wall, we still get full wall splat. Yeah, so that's pretty good for something that comes out like so fucking fast. Insanely fast. Okay, we have charge 3, which is basically down 3 off of standing state, off of stance. Also, did they say it? I know they don't say it, but same thing. Charge 3, 2 is still a thing. Oh, yeah, we're not on heat now, but it's still a thing. So it's basically just stand 3 or down 3 out of stance instead. This is the big one. He can go for Hellsweep out of the state, which I believe has the same normal properties. So let's go ahead and just let's just test to be safe. Yeah, we get full combo. So that's nice. So typically what you're going to do is you're going to enter into stance, and that's going to be your combo extender, and then you do your combo. So while you can use it for standing Oki, it's more likely going to be used mid-combo. So that is something that's really important. And then we do have the interesting one. So whereas Reina has her Heaven's Wrath throw, we have a Heaven's Wrath throw too, or in this case a charge throw, but it's Broken Toy. But if you notice, the animation is insanely fucking fast. There is no animation. It's just 15. So human reaction is roughly 20 to 22 frames at the fastest. This is 15. This is completely invisible. There is no animation. There's no breaking it. You just get grabbed and you get broken toyed and thrown across the stage. I assume it doesn't cause wall splat still. It causes wall splat, but I don't think it causes like combo continuation. Yeah, we just get a little flop state against Kazuya here. But yeah, that's going to be your Power Crush Breaker. That's essentially your low. That's not going to be Hellsweep. Yeah, your low is your throw. So it's nice. It's a nice little buff. Okay. As usual, transitioning into Fujin. Tap down +2 or out of stance. Tap down. We have access to Raijin 1-1, I-12 option. Let me go ahead and turn off this. This is fully NC and a heat engager. It also is heat dash cancelable for a flop state. And that's your fastest option out of Raijin stance. As we mentioned, forward 3 into Raijin is +12, and that's a true +12, so Raijin 1-1 is guaranteed. Now, if your opponent predicts you going for Raijin 1-2, he has access to Raijin, or 1-1. If they think you're going to go high, he has Raijin 1-2 instead, which is his old Raijin 2-1. The benefit here, though, is that Raijin 1-2, instead of being launch punishable, is now only -13 on block. So that's a nice change. Part of his 50-50 to be boosted in that way is really nice. And same thing, I think this is fully NC too. So yeah, if you're by the wall, then we have access to wall splat. Let's see, does Raijin 1-1 splat? Oh, that's still wall splats though, so that's nasty. And it's only -13, like I said, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, Raijin 2 is basically our electric. It deals chip damage on block, but it's also -10 on block. Now, under the effects of heat mode... Oh, it's okay. Under the effects of heat mode still, but under the effects of warrior charge, or warrior instinct, it's -3 on block. So, a couple of things to note. This is a mid, so despite the fact this looks like a high, it looks like an electric, and it is, it's not actually an electric. This is a complete mid option, so if, like, if Kazuya ducks here, well, now you get spin launched. And yeah, under Warrior Instinct, same thing. It's completely safe on block at -3. So it's a nice change with Warrior Instinct. But yeah, obviously, it's going to be your go-to combo line. As you've seen me do many a time, I'll go forward 3, which once again hits very low to the ground, and to Raijin 2, which also same thing, hits very low to the ground. So even if you fuck up your combo like that, we still get the full combo link afterwards. Okay, basically jumping Hell Axle from Fujin, or Raijin stance, and I think this is also the exact same move, so we can pick up. Yeah, I mean, that's nasty, dude. Whoops. And then, yeah, same thing. Low crushing +4. What's not to like about that move? Okay, and now this is a weird one. He actually picked up Lars's DE 3+4. He can perform Get a Stomp by tapping 4. Minus 14 on block. And then on counter hit, doesn't do anything. Okay, gives a little foot stomp. But keep in mind that's a plus 12 G. So like 1-1, he's going to block us. So he, like I said, he gets Lars DE 3+4 now. But he can perform standing Get a Stomp from Fujin stance. But realistically, you're going to want to go for the throw, which we talked about. Again, you know, heat mode enhanced is +8 into charge stance, where we can go for more throws and more fun time, happy sort of stuff. Okay, the big one, as we've kind of discovered, is Fujin 1+2 homing attack on block. This is minus 13. It also is a power crush, of course, so off an option like 3-2 stance entrance or 4-3 stance entrance on block, or any of these variations. At +2 or at -2, we can beat any sort of option with this power crush. Also, the fact that this is 18 at -2 is perfect for beating power crushes and other options. So yeah, it's very nice to have this move. Don't forget it exists, especially if you want to do a lot of stance dancing, like shenanigan trap, stuff like that. And then, of course, the final one is it does cause wall splat. So it's pretty good, all things considered, especially for minus 13 on block. Okay, as shown, the throw, heat mode enhanced, if you want the better plus frames option. And then from here, again, 50-50 force between charge 1 and charge throw. Very, very strong. Keep in mind, when we're activating the Fujin throw, we're left in charge at +8, and then our throw hits on 15. So that perfectly beats Rage Arts, which activate 1 frame too late, and then it beats throws or Power Crush, because even though Power Crush activate on 7, the throw is fast enough it's going to beat any single Power Crush in the game. So it's really, really, really good to be able to mix that up into it. And then, yeah, that's what we just talked about here. So I guess if you don't want to shift into stance, you can hold back. So, okay. But realistically, I think most people are going to want to enter into stance, unless maybe, like I just talked about, your opponent has rage mode, in which case things can kind of get fucked up there. I can see that happening. Okay, so we can perform Hellsweep by tapping down forward, or sorry, Wind Step by tapping down forward. Evidently, it has a low parry effect built into it, so that's a nice quality of life thing. But from here, we have access to our Hellsweep. So, like we had shown earlier, that won't be the combo we want to use, and I haven't explored the combos too much. Let's give this a shot. Okay, I gotta hold down. Okay. Okay, maybe not that pickup. There are some structures, though, that are the Hellsweep variations that are outside of charge. I just don't know them off the top of my head. But yeah, that's the idea. We gain access from here. You can have access to electric. This is very similar to Reyna's down forward cancel, where she can perform 1+4. Okay, 1+4 her crouching, down forward the cancel into CD, and then from here have access to her Thunder God Fist and stuff like that. I talked about that in the T8 predictions video. Okay, this is the Big Daddy 1+4 we talked about already. Is how you enter into Warrior Instinct. This can only be performed once per match, and it requires you to have 3 stocks of your heat mode activated in your game, so round 3, round 4, round 5 only, to pop it. This is also essentially a Power Crush. It's a burst attack. It cannot deal lethal damage, because otherwise it would be too OP to have access to a instant kill like that. But yeah, we're not going to be able to see it here. And actually, no, I forgot, we can kill it, we can hurt ourselves now. So let me put myself on 75%. So when we activate Warrior Instinct, it actually gives us health back. So look at that. Now we have a recoverable gauge, which is really, really nice to have that. So it's like, okay, you're playing from behind, well, you actually have a better chance than you think you would normally have, because now you can have Warrior Instinct to give you a little bit of bonus health going on. So yeah, it is definitely nice. Again, also we had shown you can't use it in a combo. I mean, you can, but it won't kill your opponent, so don't use it. But it does cause a wall break, as signified from the green icon here. Okay, so Warrior Instinct changes. So let's go ahead and set us to Infinite Warrior Instinct. So Flash Punch has really big pushback. Mid combo, same thing. Really far pushback. I don't know how far to the wall it would splat us, so let's go ahead and find out. Because yeah, unfortunately I picked like the worst stage. But yes, keep in mind like all these Warrior Instinct moves are all like equally more punishable. Okay, so we're kind of close to the wall. Okay, so it splats pretty far away now. And then otherwise, outside of Warrior Instinct, the Flash Punch actually puts them in a downward trajectory. So under Warrior Instinct though, we have the standard old school forward trajectory. So notice the difference on angles means you can splat closer versus further. This, the upward trajectory or forward trajectory means we can splat like roughly that far away. So it's very, very strong for a Punisher, but same thing, it's not any safer. Under the effects of Warrior Instinct, this is enhanced. So what's interesting is this is a red life destructor, but the thing is under the effects of Warrior Instinct, notice something? It's not doing red life damage. He has no recoverable gauge anyway. So the fact that the 1 back 2-2 is now a red life destructor, it doesn't really matter because you're never going to be able to get Warrior Instinct in mid combo, and all your launchers destroy red life anyway. So I don't know. It's a weird mistake that maybe Namco had made. But like, look at that. This is like a day 0 combo, right? Oh, sorry. I can even do fucking 3. Okay, okay. Oh, that missed then. Oh, one more time. Hard combo, by the way. Yeah, look at that. 86 damage off a I-13 electric. And keep in mind, that was not heat enhanced or heat buffed or anything. That was just Warrior Instinct only that allowed for that combo. Keep in mind, on block, this is still minus 13. Again, Warrior Instinct tends to not improve frame data at all. It's just for bonus properties on your moves. Speaking of which, 1+2, yeah, now causes a flop state. So we have a stronger I-12 option. Otherwise, we typically just cause a push away. Both of them are going to properly wall splat. It's just under Warrior Instinct. It's now consistent. Oh, hey, we get our follow-up hit there. Good amount of damage, so on and so forth. I think also mid-combo, yeah, it's a little bit more floaty, but that's not really a big deal. Okay, speaking of big deals, this is the big deal. Twin Piston on 13 is a full launcher. The damage potential is not super good, but you know, you still get your follow-up and options and so on and so forth. If you want to go for like a 4-3-4 structure, meter pop, 4-3, you know, so on and so forth. Then you have access to that, and then follow options. You could still use our Warrior Instinct to our strength of ending combo again with 1 back 2-2. But yeah, TP on 13 is nice to have, especially because as shown, you know, forward 4 against crouching opponents 15, so we get TP rather than a more fringe like forward 4 Raijin entrance 2 option to launch punish duckers, stuff like that. Oh, also mid combo, it's a spin too, so that's also nice outside of Warrior Instinct. Okay. Okay, yeah, still minus 16. Like I said, the frame data doesn't change, but I guess now we're doing chip damage. Okay. Bonus damage, more chip damage. Okay, I don't know, whatever. Okay, 443. This is the big one we've seen already. This is now +1 on block rather than -3. So -3 is still really good, but yeah, to have a natural hit +1 launcher that's a mid is pretty nice, especially when you're mixing up with your wave dash pressure, you know, stuff like that, so on and so forth. The Warrior Instinct Spinning Demon is probably the second most interesting one. And the reason being, under the effects of Warrior Instinct. So let's go ahead. We'll set Kazuya to block the first option, crouch block, and then we'll have him block. Let's see here. I'm standing block. What happens if I do this? So basically, under Warrior Instinct, the first one goes through the defense, and I guess only minus 14. So maybe there's some strategy. But yeah, rather than us being stagger launched here, right? So typically we'd stagger minus 23, but under the effects of Warrior Instinct, the first one will actually go through the defense. Sorry, let me turn on always Warrior Instinct. Okay, so the first one will always go through. So now, okay, this guy wants to get off. Uh-oh. All of a sudden, we get a free attempt for the low sweep. Now, the thing we've learned, though, from kind of messing around here, is that the second hit actually has the normal property. So it's only the first hit of the Hellsweep is now a free attempt to go for. With that being said, if that's the case where your Hellsweep, right, is no longer stagger launcher, it's only minus 14. And if you're under the effects of heat mode, or under Warrior Instinct, rather than us forcing a 50-50 between the continuation low, or here, if our opponent thinks we're going to go ahead and go for the continuation low, we go for the mid. We can tsunami kick him right to the face, right? The difference, though, is because if our first attempt is a free attempt, that actually means we actually have access to a safe counter hit launcher, right? Which is actually pretty good. And can I get like an easy combo here? That'd be so fucking great. Can I forward 3? Okay, I'm in FC. What can I do? I'm trying to do like an easy combo. Oh, that is standing. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so that misses. So you have to go for the double Hellsweep instead. Oh, okay. Actually, I take it back. I think you can go for electric too. Yeah. Yeah, so you don't even have to go for the hard stuff, right? So that means we get a safe attempt or a free attempt to get our opponent caught lacking here on the single Hellsweep. And then our normal pickup as usual, as you've seen multiple times already. So yeah, under Warrior Instinct, the first low Hellsweep cannot be blocked. It just goes right through them, straight up. But the second hit doesn't have that property, so it's a little bit strange that that's the case, but whatever. But hey, I guess then, same thing, okay. Well, if this is block all, right? If we just do Hellsweep neutral 4, that's a safe attempt because, right, we don't have to go full Tsunami, which is 15. We just go Hellsweep 4 and minus 3. Minus 3, stance entrance or, Fujin parry, Sabaki options, tactical ideas like that. Or just jab out 10 frame, play chicken with our opponent, Hellsweep neutral, down back 2, turn still option. Speaking of turn still, power crush, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So that's crazy. Like, yeah, we get a fucking free attempt for a counter launcher. That's only minus 14. And then Hellsweep, like, follow-up pressure, too. So probably going against Heihachi, especially if you're expecting a Hellsweep, it's probably better to not even, like, mitigate it via offense rather than wait for him to go for the low. I don't know. It's going to be, like, a really, really crazy meta for sure. Okay. So we have changes here. So under the effect of Warrior Instinct, charge 1, chip damage on block. Also, this beats power crushes. So it's interesting that it looks identical like 442 with all the same animation, but 442 doesn't armor break there. But we do have the armor breaker here. I'm not going to be able to really show it off, unfortunately, but just take the game's word for it. We also have charge 2. But wait a second here. Wait a second. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, that was wrong. I'm like, no, the charge 2 does break it. Okay, so as shown, Raijin 2 is minus 3. So instead of minus 5, it's now a minus 3 mid-electric that's only accessible off of, the Warrior Instinct option. Also, it looks like, oh wow, it has chip damage and has reversal breaker. So same thing. If they try to power crush us here, in this one I might be able to better show. I'll just do like forward tier or something like that. If I do forward 3 into Raijin 2, we probably have enough frames to beat him, so let's find out. And that means we're going to have a natural hit launcher, too. Yeah, woohoo! Look at that. That's beautiful, man. And yeah, anything you want after. I don't know what the best thing is yet. Like, again, I have not put any time into playing him thus far. Okay, throws are pretty straightforward. It's the same throws he's always had. The only difference here is that he can no longer perform... Well, 2 changes. He can no longer perform Broken Toy, which is his old QCF 1+3. It can now only be performed from charge stance. The other thing is they changed the input on Headbutt Carnival. So Headbutt Carnival in this game is now a new input. And then the Atomic Drop, it's still 60 damage, more damage than Dragunov does. Stonehead still does 35 wall splat. Yeah, so Headbutt Carnival, aka Headbutt Clash, can only perform against male characters. And basically what it is it's an infinite. Whoever breaks it last, or doesn't break it, gets splatted into the wall. But yeah, in previous games with Heihachi here, if you're ever ahead of your opponent on health, you can just do Headbutt Carnival and you just eventually win because you splat them into the wall. And their back's the wall and your back's not the wall, right? So your wall splat doesn't exist. So it looks like it might be a little bit differently. Maybe it looks like it's a mash fest now. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, repeatedly pressing. In the old game, it was like with defense, you'd break with a 1 or 2, and then Heihachi would break with a 1+2, but his timing was trickier, but you could still mash it out. But now maybe it's just like a mini-game mash out. I don't know for a fact. Someone can definitely correct me there. So yeah, under the effects of heat mode, just like Reina, Raijin has the stance reversal that beats mids and highs. So you have to be careful when you're trying to punish his quote-unquote -15s because they're not -15 anymore. Low parry, duck or down forward as usual, causing instant tornado spin. Dead Stomp, down forward can only be performed against a grounded opponent. And that's about it. So there are a couple of extra things of note, or like hidden moves that shouldn't exist, but they do exist. So let's see, can I take that away? Okay, so he still has Augur, which is 2 + 3 + 4. And he still flexes, so he still has that taunt. Also, he still has, while he does have the Force Slide 3, the Demon Scissors, he still can also hold down to damage himself with Demon Scissors. So if you really want to taunt kill yourself, you can hold down, and that can only be performed when it misses the opponent. Beyond that, he has certain voice animations against the Mishima characters. So in his Rage Arts, he will actually call out the person he's hitting. It's I think only against Mishimas. So that's another thing of note. Beyond that, though, I believe I covered pretty much everything. I don't have like real combos yet, like as you've seen. For the most part, what you want to do is an electric option and then try to get at least a Wind God Fist after. So focus on the first electric and worry about the second one later. The double electric allows for like the most versatile combo structures you can go for. For the most part, most people are going to prefer to do like a triple electric line. So, because that still allows us to get this full pickup, which is really, really strong. Like, look at that, 67 damage from the get-go. From there, you have a couple of options. People tend to go for up 4 3 4 because that causes the little flipping, and then yeah, usually after the triple, you have to do usually a little bit of dashing. It's a little bit. Yeah, I'm not used to this stick, so please bear with me. I'm gonna give this one more shot. Of course. But yeah, okay, you know what? We're gonna make it easier. Let's do this easier combo. From here, we can just mash our 5 and it's going to land. Then, pop meter and then end with an OTGF. So 94 damage from us doing a double electric line. No heat enhanced. And also, we are technically under the effect of Warrior. But like same thing, like if we take off Warrior Instinct, in this combo structure, it really shouldn't be being affected by us having that meter popped here. So let's go ahead and find out. Okay, we'll do the super easy combo. 1, 4, 3, 2, then up 4, 3, 4, then mash out 5 because you don't do anything special. Into OTGF. Okay, 1 less damage without meter, but now same thing. Let's try to go Let's try to go like a big boy, or like an even easier combo. Let's say we're under warrior enhanced state, right? So we'll just do electric, electric, 4-3-1, 4-3-2, dash up 1, back 2-2. And there you go, 86 damage without us having to pop meter. And again, that's the real benefit is with the 4-3-4s. Back two structures, if you're able to do the just frames, that also, you know, causes like strong airborne state. Hey, out of curiosity, let me just try doing launcher 5, back 2. Okay, there you go. Yeah, strong aerial off back 2. And of course, we're looking for the proper 17 just frame there. But the idea is the same. For the most part, Heihachi looks fairly simple when it comes to his combos. If you have any sort of Mishima experience, it's going to be a character where you pick him up in like an hour, and you do like hella good work with him by hour 2. Like, as long as you have that, you'll be fine, and the execution, again, isn't super, super difficult. And again, I'm not even showing you the 4-3 Hellsweep lines or anything like that either. So, you know, it's your imagination here. Yeah, so I had to take a couple pauses, so I'm going to have to cut up this video. But comments, questions, concerns, YouTube, Red, Twitch, Twitter, feel free to hit me up. If I made a mistake, please correct me. I don't believe we made too many mistakes because Heihachi is pretty straightforward and simple in this game, all things considered. Otherwise, beyond that, yeah, please let me know what you guys want to see going forward. I'm probably going to play him on ranked tomorrow, like start playing him online. But beyond that, yeah, not too much else kind of planned. We'll cover Tiger Uppercut and whatever's coming down the pipeline. Once again, feel free to hit me up on YouTube for what do you want to see. Okay, thanks for coming by. I hope you guys have a great day. That's all.